Guys, we're back again recording this live on a Thursday. Thank you so much for joining us. We really, really appreciate it. Please hit that subscribe button. You have no idea how much it really, really helps us. Please hit that sub button, thumbs up, get in the comments, get the eggplant emojis out for fun, whatever you want to do. Get in there and react to it because it really, really helps us grow the channel. So thank you so much for all the support, guys. It's great to be back. We got our boy Hirsch here. Hello, Hirsch. Good to have you, man. Always a lot of fun when we come and hang out, brother. Looking fantastic as always. How you doing?
Oh yeah, man, not too bad. Hanging out, but a lot of swagger news that actually has me a little intrigued.
Yeah, dude, there has been a cavalcade of information. I mean, there's no other word for it. In Australia, of course, most of the announcements and things like that happen at like 4, 5 a.m. local. So I wake up to just this avalanche of information as well as all the reactions and stuff. And I tell you what, most of them are pretty positive this time, Hirsch. Sometimes, people get a little bit upset about things. I think overall people have been pretty positive with this road ahead that we got. I don't think there's too many people disappointed at all.
I'd go as far as saying it might be one of the most positive, if not the best road ahead out there, like that they've made.
100%. I could not agree more. But yeah, there's a lot to unpack. We're gonna talk about the new releases, and of course, there's one very, very near and dear to our boy Hirsch's heart. We'll come to that soon, but we need.
Well, we'll come to that definitely.
Literally, but our boy Hirsch, we need to talk about the raids, mate. A massive overhaul. To all of the whole raid system that we've known since the start of the game, since raids were invented. We've never seen anything like this at all. And I really, really, really like, honestly, every little piece of this because it still creates a really, really good way to help bring the players and guilds together. I mean, some of the best things I've ever achieved, we've talked about this many times, some of the best achievements I've had in this game and enjoyed is completing raids with my guild mates, and working through them and strategizing through them and completing them together as a team. And to that's been a really, really huge achievement for me. And I think that's something that I think we've really has been lacking for quite some time in the game. I think that's sort of faded away a little bit, and it's gotten to the point where people have just gone, I've got to make sure I get top spot to make sure I can get the best rewards and stuff like that. This just absolutely flips it on its head, Hirsch. Your thoughts overall, mate? We'll go through bits and pieces, but overall, I think that we're all thinking the same, aren't we? I think that this is a really, really good change. Huge change.
I think it's really cool. I really like the reward system changes and the point changes, like how you factor into what rewards you get. It's just you're only competing with yourself. You're not competing with your guildmates anymore, like you said. Like you're still working together as a guild to complete stuff, but you're not competing personally for getting better rewards compared to someone else.
Yeah, and
I like you can all work together to get the most damage, to get the most points, so everybody gets the most highest reward.
I like how you're not relying on a specific whale as such or a high GP player to carry a raid, which happens in a lot of cases with the old system to get it done. I think that certainly, the way it's built, you can, there are certain aspects of it that'll obviously limit certain players from being super effective in it. But on the flip side, if you work on those particular bits and pieces, which aren't a huge ask, because a lot of them, of course, are things that we've already got, it'll make it reasonably achievable. So let's start it off. So let's start with this, and this is a really, really good thing. One raid at a time only. That's a great change. I think that is absolutely brilliant. I'm thrilled about this. You're only going to be able to play one raid at a time. Whichever one you choose, that's fine. You don't have to hit this join button for 3 or 4 that you're never going to do, and you're just going to sim it. In a lot of cases, or just hit the join button and just get whatever rewards. It's silly. It's a silly system for mid to end tier players, especially who have completed it for years and honestly have just been logged in for rewards. Great change for that one, Hirsch. I think that's probably one of the real standouts in this post, personally.
Well, with everything that's been that's been going on, increasing the amount of time you actually have to spend in game in Sorgo. Compared to now, they're also removing the simming of all the raids.
Yeah.
So you would have to play through all 4 of those raids.
Yeah.
That would be monotonous as hell.
Yeah.
I loved the raiding system. I loved going in and playing raids, but they don't fit the caliber of teams that you can make now for the most part. So you kind of just run through most of them. So it'd be boring and monotonous. to where now you can be like, okay, I'm going to do this one raid that's hopefully going to be fun and engaging, new content. It's going to be changing relatively often, and you're restricted on your teams. Like, I think that it's going to, I could see it really bringing the community together to be like, okay, how can we do this with just this small faction, this limited group of people? Your theory crafters are really going to have to come out of the woodwork and figure out what they can combine with just those single things. And they don't have to think about all the other stuff. They don't have to think about multiple raids or whatever. They can focus on just this new thing.
Absolutely.
I think overall, one raid, definitely big ups.
Absolutely.
For me.
Challenge Rancor raid is going to go. That's being scrapped. Love it. Absolutely love it. Honestly, I'm going to call it what it is. It's an absolute pain in the ass. It really is. You go in, you do it. It's pretty monotonous. My guild's down to knocking it out in 20 minutes. Yes, I'll admit that we are a high-end guild, and certainly not everyone can do that. But I think that's just evident in how, once you sort of get over the hump and get what you need for that, it really gets to the point that everyone's really just scrapping for the best rewards, which are randomized anyway. The whole concept of it, to me, I think, is certainly quite outdated. So I'm really happy that one's going, mate, to be honest.
I really like how they actually touched on the reward system changes too. I guess I glossed over this before. So there's going to be like 2 ways to earn the rewards. You're going to have your guild track and your individual track.
Yep.
So you're going to have rewards you can get immediately off of your individual track, and then the guild track when it gets completed.
Yeah.
So like I think that's cool, and they also like put it in red there that you're gonna earn rewards from the personal track that are equal and replace the old simmed rewards.
Yeah.
So I would assume it's going to be everything else, but it also makes me question. Replacing sim rewards, you can't sim the Crankcore, so where are those R8 mats going to go? Are they going to be in the guild track?
Yeah, absolutely.
I hope.
Absolutely. And I mean, we'll come to rewards in a minute. We'll get back to that one. But if everyone's wondering, when we're talking about, with the way that we're going to achieve them, and you've got the different metrics to get your rewards. Think of Conquest. How you obviously have the track at the bottom there where you can obviously get extra stuff along the way. It's basically going to be very similar to that, I would expect, honestly, how that obviously operates. So, I believe that the more you achieve along the way, you'll click on the button and you get some gear along the way as you go, something along those lines, I would think. But we'll have to wait and see how that all plays out. But I think that using that template that we're all familiar with probably makes sense. But let's get back to that one. Limited attempts per player, Hirsch. We're going back to the non-heroic sort of stage at the moment. So there are only certain amount of attempts that a player will be able to do, depending on the raid, I would think. So again, quite often, as I said, you're relying on specific guildmates who are uber whales that have all the toys to carry the raid in a lot of cases. That just can't happen in this system because you're only going to have 5 cracks at it, and then the rest of his roster will not be usable. Again, I think that this makes it a really good even playing field. Of course, evening out the rewards, which we will get to in a minute. I think that's a good thing. But having the attempt cap, I think certainly is a good idea to help, give everyone a shot at this raid. I think that's a good call, Hirsch,
Yeah, I agree. So it's limited successful attempts per player. So it's starting with this new raid. It's going to basically make you focus more on theory crafting instead of just throwing your stuff against the wall and seeing what sticks.
Yep.
And it's also going to make it to where players that aren't there immediately at launch, they don't have to try and wake up and hurry up and try and get there.
Yep.
They can get in and be able to actually hit the raid.
Yep.
And it says the number of attempts may vary from raid to raid, and you'll still be able to restart and try again without any penalties.
Yep. So in my time zone, for instance, quite often, you've got to move to a specific guild, time zone wise, where you can participate in these raids. That doesn't become a problem anymore. You can more hit it at your own leisure and your own pace. You're still going to be able to log attempts along the way, regardless of the time. Because
this is really interesting to me. Sorry.
That's okay.
The difficulty modifiers for each raid are selected per player per attempt.
That's right. Yeah.
So you can submit different attempts at different modifiers. You can set the difficulty to the optimal level for the team you're bringing in.
Yeah, that's right. So the idea is that you can adjust your own personal rewards with how far the difficulty scale you actually scale to. to
You
complete.
can retry it multiple times. Like,
Yeah.
say you even make a successful run,
Correct.
but you don't like the score you got.
That's right.
You
You can
can
go
not
back in.
submit the attempt and then try it again.
You
I
can go-
think that's really
Yep,
awesome.
you can keep rolling attempts and keep going and keep attempting it, and also practice and hone your skills in that particular raid over and
That's
over instead
really
of
awesome.
rushing it. And hey, look, we got to have this. This is going to be finished in 40 minutes. I've got to hustle here and just log whatever score I can do. That's out the window. You just don't have to worry about that anymore. So I think that that's absolutely magnificent. That everyone's going to be able to get a turn at it at their own time, at their own leisure, at their own time zone, which has always been a huge factor for recruiting as well. That's the other thing that's always been a huge issue, because obviously certain guilds work to certain time zones. A lot of that is going to be less important. That's what I feel anyway. Faction limits on future raids. That is magnificent. I think that they learnt their lesson. With the Sith raid, it was broken from the start. We all know that. And then SLKR came along and broke it even more and just said, you know what, let's just finish this in one hit, and you can just go in. In most cases, if you had it modded correctly, you just hit auto and it was done.
And then there's Cat that's now like out there.
Yeah.
I forget who did it. I'm sorry. I think it might have been Scribe.
Yep.
That did enough damage with Cat to kill the raid like 3 times over.
Yeah, it's just madness
in one hit.
Yep.
Like, that's just pure insanity.
It is. So that the days of the solos and cheeses, of course, will be gone in theory, because they're going to hone in specific teams and factions for certain raids. So mechanic-wise, they can focus on the mechanics of the actual raid and make it more interesting and more challenging, without actually relying on someone coming in and using a Jabba, for instance, or something, and just destroying it, and it's all done and dusted. So again, I'm pretty happy about that. I think it's great. And of course, they did mention other raids, future raids. Death Star raid. Dude, like, there is still hope that may actually happen at some point, and that makes me really, really excited, considering only a year ago, Hirsch, when we spoke to Crumb directly, he said that there's no more raids on the table. We had a Q&A. We had a live stream. He jumped in and raids were mentioned. He said, look, no more raids. We're not doing them. You guys break them. So you break them too quickly. Takes us a long time to make them, and you guys break them, so it's a waste. They've obviously gone back to the drawing board, re-engineered everything, and yeah, I think that we're going to see more exciting challenges and raids more consistently, and that makes me really happy. It really does. So
I definitely agree. I think the last 2 factions you'll probably see in a raid for a long time are going to be the Night Sisters and the First Order.
Yeah, let's go.
So they don't want you using Dakazami to cheese stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't want you using Slicker to solo things.
Just to go in and just crisscross and just siphon all of their mastery, and it's all over, and just drain them down. So the days of those is certainly going to be over. There's no doubt about that. But yeah, let's get to the rewards, and this is the interesting one. Now, of course, they're basically saying that by the time when the new system's in place, players are going to have a net gain increase in their rewards overall. But as you said, the post says more gear. That's what it says, more gear, and not mats. And that's something that I think you guys picked up on, Hirsch, when you were talking to me just before we went live today, that there's no real mention of mats. The Relic 9 mats, of course, the Relic 9 materials are super, super important. They really are. The droid brains, all that sort of stuff.
The Relic 8 stuff.
Yeah, the Relic 8, sorry. Oh, I said Relic 9. I meant Relic 8. I'm sorry, my mistake. It's late here. Never mind me, guys. But the Relic 8 stuff is absolutely huge. Certainly very, very, very valuable for all players coming through the ranks, and hopefully there's a way that we'll get them back. But is there a possibility maybe we can get droid brains now that we need more Relic 9s for the new territory battle? And is there a way that, of course, we can get even those really, really difficult Omicrons in future raids as well? Is that even a possibility going forward, Hirsch?
Well, here's where I feel like they touch on that. Down below in the raid system changes, rewards are going to also have a new raid currency that can purchase items from shipments.
Yes. Love it.
So what stuff are they, knowing that the top end players that are going to be beating these raids consistently, what are they going to need?
Yep.
Right side pieces of Gear 12 plus stuff.
Yep.
Omicrons, R9 mats. Like, the high end stuff is what's probably going to be purchasable with this new raid currency.
Yeah.
Which, depending on how much you get, could be awesome. Could be really good to give access to this stuff to a lot more people.
Yeah, Absolutely.
depending on, maybe say your guild can't beat the whole thing, but you're doing pretty good with the amount of points that you're getting or the amount of damage that you can do. So maybe in your personal track, you're getting a decent bit of these new, raid currencies.
Mm-hmm.
So you're able to build up your roster slowly through that.
And a lot of it, of course, is built around trying to get, smaller and mid-tier players certainly accelerated more into the game to, a higher standard of roster generally as quick as possible. So certainly this could be a way of fast tracking it. So for instance, a lot of people are going to be playing the Crate Dragon raid. Maybe they'll increase the rewards, of course, on things like the standard Rancor raid and the Tank raid for those early to mid-tier players that need specific material and gear to accelerate their farming even harder. They don't need the top end stuff yet because they just don't have the characters to get there. So it'll be fascinating to see how that plays out overall. But yeah, certainly I'm pretty thrilled about that. This is the really interesting thing that I saw in this post as well, and this is the last thing we'll cover on it, is the blackout period. I think this is designed to kill off murking. And for those that have no idea what I'm talking about when we say murking, they're certainly in between guild events, so territory wars and territory battles. There's generally a 24, 48-hour window in some cases where people will leave their guild, go to other guilds to basically compete for top-end rewards. There's no need to do that now because all the rewards are leveled to start with, regardless of what guild you're in, so that kills that. But the blackout period, I believe, will be built in there to the point where it'll be, timing-wise, not feasible to even consider moving from the current guild you're in. And I know that's been, of course, causing a lot of issues for a long, long time. I feel that that's going to really change the game when it comes to the murking situation out there. But maybe I'm wrong. We'll have to wait and see, Hirsch,
Well, I think the simple way that they change murking, the blackout period is only for 1 week when they do the raid changes.
Yep.
The way they killed murking, in my opinion, is all those the 3 old raids, the legacy raids.
Yep.
The guild gets the same rewards across the board.
Yeah.
Everybody.
Yeah. That's
so
right.
It doesn't matter if you're top or bottom, if you hit it, if you soloed it, or if you didn't hit it. Everybody's getting the same reward.
Yeah. Spot on.
There, your murking is now out the window.
Yep. Murking's a waste of time because you're going to get the same stuff anyway. You don't need to go for top gear because everyone's getting the same thing. Or personally, you're going to get better regardless of what guild you're in. So yeah, murking's dead. I think that's. I think they designed that specifically for that particular reason. So guys, let us know in the comments below what you guys think about the new raid changes. I think they're absolutely brilliant. There is not one thing so far I don't like, as long as the rewards line up to what we've had, currently. As long as they don't stitch us up on the rewards. That's the only thing that certainly I'm concerned about. I think the majority of people are. So as long as the rewards stay stable and we do get the net gain that they tell us we're going to get, honestly, nothing but full applause in my complete opinion, because it's something
I feel like
the
first round the rewards are probably going to be real shit.
Fair enough.
And the community is going to have a lot of outlash, and then they're going to come back and probably figure, okay, we need to do X, Y, and Z, and then the second round is going to be much better.
All right, we'll have to wait and see, guys, straight up. New characters coming, man. Okay, let's start with yours. Let's Let's get after it. Merrin has come into the game. Our boy Hirsch, a huge Night Sister lover. He loves his sisters in general. He's from Kentucky.
Oh yeah,
that's just a given, right? Yeah. But yeah, the Night Sister faction is certainly one of his pet loves. And dude, you've been crowing for Merrin for a few years now, ever since Fallen Order came out. It's like, give me Merrin yesterday, dude. She's finally coming to the game. You've got to be pretty happy about that, yeah.
Oh man, I'm ecstatic. Not just for Merrin, but for them to be going into Fallen Order in general. I think it could be awesome. I'm already thinking like, oh, what could they do for a Night Sister lifter unit? They need X, Y, and Z. What slot could she fill? They could use this. They could use that. They could use, a nice, passive cleanse for the whole team, depending on what she does. I'm over here like, all right, Hansi, as soon as she comes out, R9, let's go. Next R9 goal.
I like it. Yeah, he's already earmarked me to Relic 9 Merrin, guys, as the next sub goal. At the moment, I'm looking at doing Relic 9 Tebow. That's how good I'm going right now. So we'll have to wait and see how that plays out. But, dude, there's one thing. I've got 2 words for you. Assault battles. There's a particular assault battle, of course, that Night Sister is an option, Hirsch. You go up against Palpatine.
There's maybe 5 people in the game that have beaten tier 3 of that assault battle.
I believe it's, if I'm wrong, is it Secrets and Shadows? I think that's, is it Secrets and Shadows
think
off the
that's
top of my
the
head?
one.
Pretty sure that's the one. So yeah, the last 2 tiers of that, it's barely been completed. How good would it be if Merrin comes in and just absolutely destroys that Secrets and Shadows assault battle, which no one has been able to complete up until now? This needs to be a necessity. It needs to be, really some sort of mechanic built in there, some sort of a bonus, some sort of stat. I don't care what it is, but give us something to knock off. That's knock off that that particular assault battle, Secrets and Shadows. We need to do that, yeah.
Yep.
Straight
you
up.
got to deal with Sidious in wave 4.
Yeah.
And if you just don't have things go the right way, and you got to
Mhm.
have like really high gear and relics on everybody, you need a really good Talia. Like,
Yeah. So absolutely, the challenge tiers, we want it beatable now. Merrin's your silver bullet if you do it right, and I'm down with it. So guys, let us know in the comments below whether you're excited about that. Cal Kestis is coming, of course, as well. Cal Kestis is on the way. We got Sarah. We got it all happening right now. It's absolutely
Here.
magnificent. Oh, Kara, I'm sorry. It's late. I told you it's late, guys. It's late here, okay? Can't take me anywhere. But dude, some great characters coming from Fallen Order. Eventually.
BD1, let's go,
We're
BD.
getting BD1 in the game. I think everyone's super
Fuck
thrilled
yeah.
about that. Gee, I wonder what the relic's going to be on Cal Kestis. Who would think? What do you reckon it's going to be? Jesus. So, it's going to be absolutely magnificent. Thrilled about that one. Unaligned Force user, of course, in there as well. Maybe could be useful with the Starkiller team, maybe. Kira, possibly. That could be an option. Just thinking out loud straight away. Let's see how that works. Of course, it's designed to work with Cal, but there's some good theory crafters that are out there. They're going to see if that's an option as well.
He's a force to be reckoned with in territory battles.
I did see that. It's going to be a lot of fun. It really is. And of course, it's going to get its own node as well. So there's going to be its own node for it, I believe, too, once it's released in the new territory.
Naturally.
Battle. Yeah.
Naturally.
So that's the
It's
whole idea.
new.
But let's talk Tuskens, brother. Let's talk Tuskens. This is something that we've been asking for quite some time. This is nothing new. The Tusken Warrior, of course, and the Chieftain are both coming to Heroes. We're probably only hours away, actually, from the Chieftain, the event starting, if I'm correct, right now. So, dude, it's been way too long. My boy J-Lox, I've got to give him a massive shout out. J-Lox and Resco. They were the first ones to have all 3 Tuskens at Relic 9 level when Relic 9 was released. Huge fans of the Tuskens, and they have been inundated with DMs after the State of the Galaxy, the Road Ahead post was launched. But man, Tusken love. It's about time. What do you reckon, Hirsch? I like this, mate. It's beautiful stuff.
Man, I can only say one thing. It's beautiful.
It's magnificent. It's so good.
I'm really excited to see what they turn into for like a 5v5 team. And the Omicron.
Yeah.
Super cool. Having Dad Bod as another Tusken. I think that's awesome. And he's probably gonna slap.
Oh yeah.
If he doesn't lose momentum. Woo! And he has his payout. He's gonna hit like a truck.
Yeah, he's going to be super gross. I'm pumped about that. I'm really can't wait. So, yeah, momentum's going to be huge in this. I love how they've linked up Dadbod Boba with it. I think that's absolutely fantastic. So, yeah, can't wait for those releases to come out. Yeah, we'll have to see how it all works, but I'm sure that once you're going to need both Chieftain and, of course, you're going to need the Warrior as well. Of course, if you're going to participate in the next thing, which is the Crate Raid, which is so cool. Crate Raid's coming out. Faction specific. I love it. It's great. It really is cool.
I feel like Dadbot is going to be like quite good in there.
Yeah.
Like the Mandalorian team, obviously, if he's not in with the Mandos, like he doesn't fit as a Tusken for the 5v5 team, and they already have 5.
Mm-hmm.
So like, I'm just hoping Dadbot comes in and just wrecks house in that raid.
Yeah. There's going to be some sort of buffs for all of these factions in that raid for whatever reason to get them up and running. And, mate, I can't wait to see how this is going to play out. You would like to think that, Mando, of course, is going to do some really heavy damage of course, against the Crate Dragon.
Well, you also got Bam too.
Yeah.
So Bam can do his things like saving people for like whatever kind of mechanics the boss of the raid boss actually has. Mando could be super helpful there, like Bam.
Yeah, it's going to be great. And I mean, even just the OG Mando, you'd like to think that the insta kill, which is of course, what he used to kill the Crate Dragon in the first movie. In the show. Sorry, my mistake. In Mando.
Yeah.
You'd like to think that's going to do some absolute massive damage. So I'm pumped. Old Republic's pretty cool. There's Old Republic thrown in there as well. Old Republic could get some viability.
That's
I think
cool.
That's pretty good.
That's
too.
a nice little throwback to Old Republic, to fighting Crate Dragon.
Yeah.
I believe they talk about it in KOTOR.
Mm-hmm. Yes. I believe so. I'm not a big Old Republic
Don't
fan.
crucify me in the comments.
Yeah.
I've only played it one time.
I'm not an
twice.
enthusiast, to be honest. I love it, but I'm not a massive enthusiast. There'll be other people out there that can explain it to us straight up. But Hutt Cartel that just makes sense, of course. I mean, Jabba's also the new toy. Jabba's going to smack in one way, shape, or form, I'm sure, with all the detonators. So, I am actually really looking forward to diving into a new raid. I just can't wait. I really can't. I'm really thrilled. We're of course going to be streaming it and mucking around with it and having some fun and see what we can and can't do, just like I'm sure a lot of other people are as well when it's released. But I'm absolutely thrilled with every single piece of this road ahead, mate. I really, really am. We got a Droideka Omicron as well coming too.
Mm-hmm.
That was obviously released late in the piece. Only hours, I think, since this recording. And dude, Grievous is going to be thick. He's going to be gross. I mean, you got to take...
Let's roll back for 1 second.
Yeah.
I like the Droideka Omicron, but there's one other thing that was on the character or the kit reveal for one of the Tuskens.
Yes.
And if you would go look at it now, it's no longer there.
Yes. That would be this. That would be this. There was a post that was put in... which has now been removed. And we know it's been reported, of course. I think Arnold covered it and a few others as well. But our boy Meathead likes throwing some red herrings here and there all over the place. He's very, very good at this. But, of course, there was a post in the inspiration like, hey, you should start leveling up your Sith ships. Now, again, he's a very, very good troll. But I tell you what, you can't discount it. I think that's the thing when it comes to our boy Meathead with what he's thrown out there.
His trolling typically stays, though. When he trolls something, he leaves it.
It does, yeah.
It seems like maybe somebody got a hold of him and was like, take it off.
It's no longer in the post. So read that in any way you like. But, it's now been completely removed from the post. So, get your Sith ships ready. Sith Bomber,
Ravager.
Sith Fighter. Yeah, all of those.
Was that leak from all those months ago? Was it still correct? And they were just kind of upset with the leak being all correct, so they postponed the Sith ship down the line.
Maybe they did. It's possible. So let us know in the comments below. Are we reading too much into it? Is he messing with our heads? He's really good with
His
it.
hat might be tinfoil.
Yeah. Let us know if it's legit or if he's just messing with us. It wouldn't be the first time, make no mistake. So Decker's good too, of course. Going to be great with Grievous. We've got to take Newt. Newt's got to come out of that Grievous team, of course, going forward when Trench arrives. We know how that all works. So, of course, they've gone, okay, well, let's slot Droideka back in there and let him do some wicked stuff. Pretty pumped about that.
Decker looks like a lot of fun. He's going to gain max health. All the mark going around. He's going to give out turn meter, or he's going to give out speed and potency, which is great for that team. They love their potency. And then he's going to, just be doing Deca things. Start off with damage immunity.
And just wreck you. He's just going to be absolutely gross. So,
And being immune to daze and stun makes that team be like, interesting.
Does make it
juicy.
Interesting. Does make it
B2 being immune to stun and daze is like,
that is.
B2 being able to just not get stopped, that's gross.
Because quite often B2 is the weak link in that lineup, unfortunately. If the first thing you do...
If B2 gets dazed or stunned, a lot of time you just lose like what you're trying to counter.
Correct. So it makes sense to obviously thicken him up because he can be obviously a little bit squishy. That's the kill order. When you go up against a team like that, certainly B2 first, then work your way around. So let us know in the comments below what you guys like the best out of this road ahead, and of course the mention of Decker as well. It's so much cool stuff. They've dumped it all on us at once. They're really, really great with that. But we'll have to wait and see what the rewards are like. I think that's really the next question. We all like to think that we should get a net gain. Let me tell you, Hirsch. There will be people out there that will be absolutely certain on what we do and don't get, and they'll be tracking this, and we'll know whether...
Well, they'll track it down to the most minute detail of the pieces of gear.
We will know whether there is a net gain or not. Make no mistake. Sooner rather than later, everyone's going to know. So, guys, let us know in the comments below what you think, and please hit that subscribe button. We'd really, really appreciate it. Thanks again, Hirsch. Been a great chat as always, my friend. Really, really appreciate it. And, we'll be back again, of course, next week. Can't wait. See you soon. Bye. Mwah.